How long you think it was gonna take before we got here? Now you gotta prove yourself all over again. Come on.
Ain't nobody coming, I've been gunning from 100 yards, trying to hit my mark, missing every time. This will be the start of the picture perfect. Watch you.
Morning, Mr. Terry. What are we going to call it? Terrific Terry Tuesday.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Or do you prefer Tremendous Terry Tuesday? Which one do you prefer?
I like
which alliteration is yours?
Terrific.
Terrific Terry Tuesday. All right, there we go. Terrific Terry Trifecta Tuesday. Let's put 4 in.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you don't really play many trifectas.
No, so. I don't. I play a couple sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So
you kind of picked that one up after you've seen me hit a few of them. That little hot dog angle of betting them.
That's right.
Unfortunately, yesterday we weren't doing prime rib pick 4s anymore, because if we would, there was a $10,000 pick 4 hiding in the picks over there yesterday, Terry.
Wow. Yeah, I saw that.
Unbelievable. But so be it. Today we'll try to catch that one in our picks today. So let's see if we can make that happen. Before we go to the picks, however, last night, interesting guest on with Jamie and with Sean. They had on the gate crew hand over there, Brandon Poole. Terry, did you try to convince him to come out to Golden Gate and be a hand out there?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing, but you could see, looking at the young man. Definitely, if you want to get in shape, folks, it looks like that might be a good job for that.
Yeah.
Because my man is lean and mean.
It's a dangerous job, really.
Oh, yeah, it is a dangerous job. Yeah, I saw something yesterday at Parx, but if you haven't checked it out, if you haven't had a chance yet, check it out. Be absolutely a good view of what happens, with the horses at the gates before the races. And, it's something I always had some questions about, like what kind of conversations are going on in there, the starting assistants in terms of their help or lack of help thereof with the kind of communication they have when they're holding the horses' heads and so forth. You see it all the time, right? They're trying to get the horses aligned the right way and all that. And then, of course, when you're trying to get those stubborn ass horses into the gates, sometimes they don't want to go.
A lot of times, no, they push back on you. So,
oh yes, it's a tug and war for sure. Tonight at 8:00, Jamie and Sean will be joined by Loreno Sosa. Met him when I was down there at Tampa Bay. Really nice young kid, young jockey you're going to want to meet. And if you hadn't had a chance to yet, he did take over our Instagram account a couple of weeks back. So you might want to go back to Instagram and kind of view that, get prepped tonight for Loreno. If you got some questions, go ahead, fire away. The young man's taller than I am, Terry, I think, and I'm 5'9". So he's another one of those tall jockeys.
Reminds me of Bobby Jennings back in the 50s and 60s. He was almost 6 foot tall. So,
well, isn't Deshaun Parker like that height, close to 6 foot tall?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, and I think tomorrow, Terry, Sean, Charles, and I will be doing Hawthorne, Horseshoe, Indianapolis.
Oh,
so
good.
We'll be talking a little bit about Deshaun Parker, I'd imagine, over there. That's where he likes to race. Speaking of liking to race, Terry, we like to cover the races here, and we're going to cover race 1 at Parx to get started today. 1 mile, 70 yards, claiming $5,000, non-winners of 2 since November the 9th. I don't know why they say a year. That looks like more like 6 months to me than a year, Terry.
Yeah.
But in any case, at 1 mile and 70 yards, the profile of a winner favors early speed. 29 out of 100 horses go wire to wire. There is a small rail edge for Mariana Queen. 2 through 7, those post positions play fair. 8 and up, a little bit of a discount for those types. We like to simulate 1,000 races. So Mariana Queen's not getting that rail bonus. It's going to go to Londonderry now. But we like to simulate 1,000 races to see, using speed figures, if there are some potential overlays, who will be most likely to have the lead at the quarter-mile marker, and then C-zone, something that's unique to horse racing today, based upon the early pace. Who's going to get a race that fits their comfort zone? Terry, tell us the answers to all of those questions.
All right. Well, it looks like the 7's got the most speed trying to get to the quarter pole, although it might get a little bit of from the 5 also. Everybody else is a little bit slower than that. And then as far as the overlay goes, the 3 has a really big overlay. Is supposed to be less than even money on the simulated odds, and he's listed at 4-1 on the morning line. And then the 4 also has a really large. It's supposed to be like 5-2. Simulated odds at 6-1 on the morning line. Then as far as the C zones, if you look here, they all got C-zone numbers, except for the 3
Mm-hmm.
is pretty low, but the rest of them have pretty nice C-zone numbers, especially the 2 and the 4.
Yeah, those two should get comfortable trips. Rob, I think we're going to do Horseshoe Indianapolis. Why? Did you have something in particular that you wanted us to do? Perhaps, if so, let us know in the comment section. We could have done Parx again tomorrow, but we like to also do a couple of other tracks, get a little other different view of how things are going. But those are the two main tracks running tomorrow, Parx and Horseshoe Indianapolis. Charles wants to do Horseshoe Indianapolis because he says he doesn't do good at Parx. So he's being a little selfish, Charles. In race number 1, as we look at the way to the winner's circle worksheet, we see here the 5 and the 7 there, E-type. So E's need to be pilots. EPs can be pilots or co-pilots. The P-types are co-pilots when they win. PC, they're versatile. They can be anywhere on the track at times. And your C's are your closers. We don't have any NCs today. I don't think we have any first-time starters either. So knowing that the 5 and the 7 want to have the lead, according to more recency bias, it looks like the 5 horse. Abihail is the one that's most likely to get the lead, a 7-point advantage over the next closest horses. That should be about a length and a quarter ahead of everybody else at the quarter-mile marker. If you can't hold on, that 3-horse, Elusive Rider and Brody Slam, along with Londonberry, will be coming late. Although the 5-horse does have enough late legs, perhaps, to stay involved. And then finally, the combination of early speed and late speed does favor the 5 and the 3, Terry. Would not be shocked to find the winner in either one of those, the 5 or the 3. But neither one of us have the 5 or the 3 on top.
Nope. I start with the 6, Viridia. Anyway, she comes in from Aqueduct to try Parx racing for the first time. Has a trainer who wins 26% of the races in the first race after the trainer's claimed a horse. This horse can improve returning to a route, and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Number 3 is Elusive Rider is my second choice. She finished third versus similar in her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 2, Londonderry, my third choice. She has finished in the money in 50% of her races at Parx Racing and won 20% of those races. Has a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 5 is my long shot. She won her last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play a $1 double. I'm going to use the 6 as a single, and I'm going to take it to the 2, 5, 6, and 7.
It's going to take it, Terry. You sound like you're rapping. I'm going to take it to the 2, 5, 6, 7. I like that, Terry. A little bit of MC Hollywood for us.
That's
today.
it.
Good luck today. How do you guys? Did you guys pick 5 jackpots were hit yesterday? I didn't see that, Charles, but the thing is, we had the pick. I mean, like I said, I had those pick 4s lurking in that late pick 4 lurking in my picks. We had done the prime ribs. That was a $10,000 pick 4. Unfortunately, didn't write the right ticket, though.
That first pick 5 paid $305,000 because it was the only one ticket, and they have that thing that they every day is a carryover. Until somebody gets one ticket, and somebody hit it yesterday.
Did you know that that's the lowest takeout for them too? I think it's like 15% at Parx, so it's a nice takeout deal as well. I'm going to start with the 6-horse in here, Viridia, coming in from Naira. So that's a class dropper in terms of track, also dropping at class. At this point, you absolutely have to consider Sofia Vives as a jockey because right now she is hot. And if you haven't seen it yet, I think we were the first to interview her on Horse Center. So you can go Google that or YouTube it, and you'll find Sophia in there and get a sense of, how she's become so successful so fast. Next horse for me is 3, Elusive Rider. Did tie for the top last race speed figure. Usually one of those horses that when you look at the race internals is consistent. So whatever you see the horse run in the opening quarter, in the second quarter, in the third quarter, late pace, is really not a fall off in its game. So steady from start to the end, catching a small weight break today. The 7-horse Summary Judgment last time out was the 90-cent favorite and blasted out to the lead in the first start after a layoff. Kind of faded after that. So let's see if he pops back in the second start off a layoff with all of that early juice. And then finally, Abihail, wire to wire in her last, did show some better pace numbers in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. I'm going to do a trifecta with the 3, 6, and 7, just in case that 7 shows up today. 3, 6 with the 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And for those of you who are new here, if you haven't done so, subscribe, hit the like button, all that kind of good stuff on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You see the social media handles down below there. We'd appreciate that. Let's see. Hey, guys, she was pretty responsible for the jackpot sit yesterday. Yeah, she had a great day yesterday. I think she won 3 races in a row. And if I remember correctly, I think like the pick 3 in those 3 races was in the thousands of dollars. So, yeah, good on her, right? Que les gusta in la first race. They haven't run yet, Jose. So as soon as they run, we'll tell you how they've finished. And I think in terms of the first race, the amount of time we have is 2 minutes. So enough time to get through race 2 real quick, right, Terry?
Okay, yes, let's go.
All right, race number 2, we're going to go 6 furlongs. We saw a whole lot of those 6 furlong affairs yesterday. At 6 furlongs, tactical speed is typically the best way to go. You do have about 35% of them that managed to win wire to wire. Post positions 1 through 7, they play fair. You do get a little bit of a bonus if you wear the, Fuchsia 8 and up. Terry, again, we like to do our simulations to cheat a little bit, if you will, our cheat codes. Leaping for Candy is out, but Lady Sriracha is not. No, Sicaria is not. And she's going to have the lead.
Yeah, the 5, 8, and 4 show the most speed, but I think the 5 is going to get to the quarter pole first. The 2 has a small overlay, 3-1 simulated odds, and it's 9-2 on the morning line. The 7 also has a small overlay. It's 2-1 simulated odds, and it looks like 7-2 on the morning line. And then all but the 2 have really, really good seasons.
Yeah, they're all going to be right where they want to be. That's the way it looks like, that competitive race, I would imagine. And you see here, you got 4 horses that want to be on the lead and 3 closers, nothing in the middle. So it's all or nothing both ways, a barbell race. So speed matters. The 6 horse, Boss Like Beth, has been the quickest of late, although she's going to have plenty of company as well. Late speed wise, you're looking at Boss Like Beth again at the top. So unquestionably, this one's going to have the best early speed, late speed combination. 9 points better than the next one. When they close in on 10, Terry, it's a horse you absolutely have to have in your ticket. A lot of times, too, you can't pass what you can't catch if the 6 is going to be on the lead. Terry, in your view, is anybody passing and catching Boss Like Beth?
Yes, I think the 7 is a closer, and Luna T, she finished in the money in her last 3 races at Parx Racing, running second versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 2, All Hell Mo, she ran second versus similar in her last race and has a high percentage winning jockey. Boss Like Beth is the 3rd pick, the 6 that you talked about. She drops in class today, and they added Lasix. And then number 5 is finished 4th as a favorite after stumbling at the start and being bumped, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 50% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back. I'm going to do a dollar exacta. I'm going to use the 7 and then just on top of with the 2-6.
Going back to, I appreciate the JG Funk hooking us up with the translation, because I should really know how to speak Spanish. We have a lot of folks coming in from Venezuela, come in from all over South America. Venezuela, we've had Brazil, that's Portuguese. We get some from Mexico from time to time. So I'm going to go get that Rosetta Stone. He's asking who we like in the first race, Jose. I apologize for not having that here. So we both like the 6-3 and then a little bit different on the back end. In race number 2, for me, I like the 2 horse as my top choice in here. Charles, he likes the 7 horse in race number 2. I'm going to go with Boss Like Beth. Pretty big class drop here, getting first Lasix. Park's record is good, 6 times out, a win, a couple seconds, couple thirds. A little bit suspicious about the drop, though. Number 2, All Hail Mo. Best race last out, was the top last race speed figure. A couple of maintenance workouts in between. I think this horse will be as good as it was the last time out. Luna T, this is the one Terry and Charles likes. And when Charles speaks, you better listen. Drops the distance here is the right one for this horse. 4 times, a win, a couple of seconds, and a third. And it is up to speed figure, 3 consecutive races. And according to Sim, it is the favorite here. And finally, number 1, Divinary. Paco Lopez riding a horse that's dropping in class and catching first-time Lasix. And we know Paco does a tremendous job riding at Parx. High win right there. All right, so it looks like race 1, Terry, is about to get going. So let's see what happens in race number 1. It is, in fact, going. We have the 7 horse and the 5 horse, as we projected, would be the 2 horses that probably got towards the lead. Right now, Summary Judgment is your leader, going through the opening quarter in 24-2, so reasonable fractions for 1 mile and 70 yards. The 6 horse in there, the prohibitive favorite at 1 2-1. Varadia now making its advance, about to make a move by the 5 horse. The 3 horse on the rail, Elusive Rider, putting in a little bit of an aggressive mood. Everybody's kind of being a little patient. The 7 up front still hasn't been asked to do a whole lot. The 6 horse now is trying to close that gap on the 7 horse. I don't know if speed holds up after opening half of 49-2. Might be a tough ask for the 6 horse to get by that 7. Does look like the 3 horse is the one that's moving the best of all the late comers. The Gray's moving to the outside of the 6. I think it's probably going to get the better of the 6 by the time they come out of the turn. We'll see. Yeah, the 4 horse kind of lugging it in the back, trying to chase down the 6, who's absolutely tiring. This race is going to be all number 7. Summary judgment. The question is who's going to come in second. If that 3 horse holds in, I might end up with the trifecta as an opening bet here, but the 4 horse is closing fast. 3 horse moving down to the rail. The 7, it's going to be it's going to be 6-3-7, folks. 6-3-4, excuse me. 7-3-4. Try
you got me excited. I thought the 6 came on at the end there. I'm not seeing
he did
it,
not.
So.
He faded back. I just dyslexia of horse racing colors, I guess. So it goes 7, 3, and 4. That should be a nice trifecta right there with the 1-to-1 shot coming out of the money. So hopefully get off to a good start, get a nice ticket, collect my $100 for the day. Terry, did I spend $99.50 today? Is that what I spent?
You spent $98.
$98. Okay. I knew I would be close out of my 100. I didn't really have a chance to do the math. Opening races in the books, 7-3 and 4. 7-3 and 4.
Congratulations, Rich.
Well, hopefully we can get a whole day like that. I mean, I was kind of salty that I didn't get that $10,000 one yesterday, Terry, to be honest with you. Next up, race number 3. Hopefully another winning race. This one is going to be 1 mile and 70 yards. We just saw 1 mile and 70 yards in the opener there. Speed held up yesterday. Terry, looks like speed could hold up again today. The 7 horse got up to the front, stayed up in the front. Indeed, if speed is the way, it continues today. Plenty of them will in fact, all of them in this race have a chance than others.
That's right. Most of them have the best chance. The 7 shows the most speed, but everything else is pretty close to it. The overlays are the 1, which is pretty nice. It's supposed to be less than even money on simulated odds, and it's 5-2 on the morning line. And the 7 is a small overlay. It's supposed to be 7-2 simulated odds, and it's 4-1 on the morning line. As far as the C zones, the 1, 6, and 5 have the best C zone numbers. And who knows who's going to get that quarter pole first with all this speed.
Yeah, this is going to be just a blazing one. Maybe the way to the winner's circle worksheet can answer some of that question for you. Surprisingly, the only one that's lead dependent in this race is the rail horse in here, Terry. Miss Chamita. Is that like that clam juice? Have you ever had that clam juice? Oh, that's got to be disgusting. Anyway,
no,
that horse is it is the lone E, but according to its most recent pace figures, Miss Chamita might not actually get the lead. Strange that it gets that ranking in there. Although the 6 and the 7, your 2 EP types, pilot, co-pilot types, they'll be right where they want to be. I don't think there's any question about that, Terry. That 1 horse, however, kind of flip and rolls around. Does have a whole lot of late speed in there, Terry. In fact, 15 points better than anybody else. That's a pretty significant race advantage. And if it does break close to the front, that disgusting clam juice, then I'm just kidding. If you want to sponsor us, we're all welcome to it. We love clam juice. But that late pace does give the 1 horse a shot with the strongest early pace, late pace combination in the field, Terry. One's kind of a questionable to me with the, going to run against its running style. I do have it in my picks.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I have the 3 as my top choice, Cinnamon Green. She ran second versus similar in her last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 50% of the times when he brings a beaten favorite back to race again. 7 is my second choice. Sprinkle This. She's done well at Parx in the racing, finishing in the money 45% of the races and 18% of the starts she's won. And she has a jockey in the last 7 days who's been in the money 7 out of 15 starts with 4 wins. Number 1, the one you were talking about, Miss Clamita. Clamita. She's my third pick. She finished third.
I think that's a little bit different, the Clamita stuff than the Clamita.
Yeah. Anyway, she finished third versus Tougher in her last race, drops in class today. The rail post is winning at a 20% clip, and she has the highest last speed rating. Number 6 is my long shot, Johnny's little girl. She drops in class today, and her early speed style helps her chances. And I'm going to play an exacta box, $1. I'm going to box the 1, 3, and 7.
137 for Terry. Old fashioned exacta box. That's how I started betting when I first came into the horse racing thing. $1 exacta boxes. Then I started doing trifecta keys, and then all of a sudden I got crazy with the pick 3s and pick 4s because of the payouts.
Yeah.
Cinnamon Dream is the horse that does get the top selection for me. Going to be better most likely in the second round after a layoff. Loves to run at 1 mile and 70 yards. Done it 9 times, 2 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3. Quick math, 7 out of 9. Don't ask me what that percentage is. Miss Chamita. This one's coming down in class, coming in from Laurel Park after running the top last race speed figure at the Maryland track. My concern with this one horse has been at the distance 12 times and has as many wins as Terry and I do at 1 mile and 70 yards. None. It was, and only a second and a third. So maybe even consider downgrading that one even a little bit more. Delightful Dreamer, the 2-horse, down a touch in class, cutting back in distance. I think could help out a little bit. Did show huge improvement with Sofia Vives last time out. Sophia is going to be on that one again today. She's a double take. The 5-horse is my final choice. Finished second in its last race. Showed much better early and much better late pace numbers, not resulting in a really crystal clear Z pattern before making its third start after a layoff. Trifecta for me, the 1, 3 with the 1, 2, 3, with the 1, 2, 3, 5, and the 6-horse. Race number 4 is next up on our calendar today, Terry. The 4th race is going to be a 6.5 furlong affair where they're going to find the profile of a winner. Typically favors horses with early speed. 35 out of 100 go wire to wire. Post positions are fair, except 4 through 7. For whatever reason, they have a little bit of a discount, Terry. With 35% of the horses going wire to wire, it sure looks like the 2, the 3, and the 5 better be in your consideration.
Yep, you got it. That's what's going to happen. But who knows? Any of those can get to that quarter pole first. As far as the overlay goes, you've got a small overlay on that 2. Supposed to be a little over 3-1, and it's listed at 4-1 on the morning line. And then the 5 has a small overlay. It's supposed to be just above or under even money, and looks like about 8-5 on the morning line. So,
and it looks like Clemenza and has got the best shot. So a little bit of overlay, got a good chance to get to the lead. 2-horse with a lot of positives according to our simulators. The race should shape up real nice for the 2-horse. And then behind that, you have the 6 and the 7 as horses with good trips, perhaps. Our way to the winner's circle shows that most of these horses want to be middle and back. The 3 and the 2, those 2 are the most likely. Yeah, I think it paid like $32, something like that. So we'll take that, right? $32.40. Yeah, good start. Get 32% of the budget back. I'll take that. Hopefully, there's a few more in there. The 3 and the 2 horse are the 2 that want to be more forwardly placed. So I think they're going to get a little bit of competition from the 6 horse in here, Terry. This is Johnny Ritt. Johnny Ritt is a PC horse. And if you remember when I used to draw things out, and I haven't quite figured out how to do this yet on Google Sheets. I don't know if I can use a marker on here or not. I think I have to buy like one of those pads like they use on the NFL shows. I keep meaning to buy one, but I haven't gotten it yet. But the 6 horse being a PC type, but the most early speed would be what we call a left arrow horse. His normal pace pushes him closer to the front. Those horses have done pretty well for me in terms of betting. 5 horse does have the most late speed, which you'd expect from a horse in the closing column, along with the 1. There you see that 6 horse again with that early speed advantage, a decent late pace number. I'm going to suspect that you're going to find him at the top of the early pace, late pace combination, along with the 5. You have a little bit of advantage over the rest of the field. Would not be shocked to see the 5 or 6 win this race, Terry.
Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping the 5. I think the 5 might just get that 6. In Sky We Trust is my top pick. Finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Got a high percentage winning jockey. And the 6 that we've been talking about, Johnny Ritt, my second choice, ran 2nd versus similar in his last race. Has a high percentage winning trainer, and he has the highest last speed rating. And then the 2 is my 3rd pick, has high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 4 is my long shot. She ran 2nd versus similar in her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to play a pick 4. I'm going to use the 2, 4, 5, and 6. Going to use the 4, 6 in the 5th race, the 2, 4, 7 in the 6th race, and the 2, 6 in the last race. So,
yeah, the simulator says this is a 2-horse race, but both of us kind of see it a little bit differently than that in our pick 4 tickets. The simulator says to take the 2 and the 5-horse. I got the 5-horse in Sky We Trust. The last race was better than the finish looks on paper. Had much, much faster fractions in that run. Johnny Ritt ran the top last race speed figure. It was the 3rd consecutive speed figure increase in a row. Again, if you haven't done so, Barry Meadows, The Skeptical Handicapper, is a book well worth your money. You're going to find more statistics, more analysis, more studies about every single angle that you can just about imagine in that book. And according to some other studies, anything that hits over 15% or more are things you should consider. I call them alpha angles. Anyway, trainer Mario Dominguez for Johnny the Ritt is the winner 27% of the time when he has a horse making its second start off the claim for him. Por Supuesto, the 2-horse, upped its speed numbers in the last 2, not quite as strong as the 3 in a row, but the last race was stronger than the previous one and had considerably better fractions. So horse on the upswing. Clemenzia, lone Parx win, came off the bench after a long break, just like today. Horse has been off since November, and decent works along with steady pattern, getting prepped for the return today. My trifecta, pick 4 here. I'm going to go 2, 5, 6, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm probably going to regret not having the 1. And who else am I missing in there, Terry? 1, 2, the 3.
3.
Yes. I just go ahead right now and do your pick 4 with the 1 and the 3. Because whenever I put that many in there, it seems like, I don't know about you, Terry, and I don't know about anybody else when you're doing, when I put a bunch of horses in there, it's almost always the leg I lose. If I put 1 or 2 in there, it seems like I'm right, even if they're at a different price. And I can't quite figure out why that is. But 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 over to 1, 4, 6. I'm going to single the 6 in that 4-horse race, and then the 2, 6 to close it out.
And you see, I don't have the 6 in that 3rd leg at all. So either you're going to win the pick 4 or I'm going to win the pick 4.
Well, I mean, that's taking the assumption that we're going to get all the other ones in between.
Or maybe Charles B will win it. Who knows?
Well, hopefully somebody wins. And if they do, it's one of those $10,000 types, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we want. The big money. That's what I want. I want to have one race one time where I have 3 figures in front of the comma. That's my goal. In race number 4, look out for the 3 win, place, and show for Christopher D'Souza. So we go back. Who's the 3-horse?
Well, that's the one that you don't have, or one of the 2.
Yeah, thanks, Christopher. I appreciate that. Putting the kibosh on me before we even get started. All right. So now we're off to race 4, Terry. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right.
No, race 5.
Race 5. Okay, we're zipping along. Race 5. Race number 5. Here we're going to go 1 mile and 70 yards. Again, this one's made and claiming 10,000, so pretty close to the bottom of the barrel. The purse is 20 grand, 1 mile and 70 yards. In the opener, we did see that the horse went wire to wire. Funny thing is, when you use all in the leg, your favorite so many times wins. I know it happens all of the time. I don't know if you were watching when we were doing the Turfway Park show that one night, and Charles went all. And then the 6-horse won it what was it, 2 to 5 or something, Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just in tears laughing because it was so funny.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it happens to everybody, right?
It happens to me all the time.
It's kind of like when somebody trips and falls and you laugh at them, but you get mad when people laugh at you for tripping and falling.
Yeah.
All right, Terry. So our race 5, in terms of our early speed and our simulations, looks sure like first to last is going to be first. The question is, does it have the speed in the late legs to hang on so it's not last?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of speed in here, but the four actually has the most speed, so he'll maybe get to that quarter pole first. The overlays are the 2. I'm sorry, not the 2. The 5.
4?
I meant the 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be just under 9 to 1, and it's listed at 15 to 1, and then the 8 is a pretty nice large one. It's supposed to be less than 5 to 1, and it's it's listed at 10 to 1. As far as the C zones go, the 1, the 6, and the 8 look like they're going to have a comfortable ride here.
And they all made it into my picks, which we'll get to in just a couple of seconds. In the fifth race, our race setup. Oh, look at this. The 6-horse Alone E. The 1, the 3, and the 4. That trio, the never close means in the last 10 races, it hasn't, if they've raced that many times. The maiden claiming probably not, but it means in the races that are available up to the last 10, they have not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. Let's see if that 6 with that Lone E is going to get to the early front. And the answer is got a chance. Yeah, got a tie. So if the 6 gets to the front, Terry, with first to last as the Lone E, they might not be able to run that one down, Terry.
Yeah.
If they do, it does look like the 8-horse Kane and 5 Frugal Judge, along with the 4-horse First to Last. That trio has a good advantage over everybody else. As far as the early pace, late pace combination, first to last, a 5-point lead. So a little bit better than everybody else for a never close horse. So that might be one that you can get at some decent price because the horse hasn't fired as of yet, Terry. Let's see who you think is going to take home the prize here.
Well, I like that 6 that you were talking about. I think he's going to get the lead and never give it up. El Gran Cuya. Anyway, he ran second versus similar in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. 4 is my second choice, first to last. He drops in class today and has a trainer who wins 25% of the races when using second-time Lasix. Number 1, Shadow Bay, ran second versus similar in his last race. The rail post winning at a 20% clip, and this trainer wins 31% of the time when he's using Lasix for the second time. Captain Complicated, number 3 is my long shot, drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. And Jockey. I'm going to play $1 daily double. I'm going to use the 4 and the 6 with the 1, 5, 6, and 7.
We have the manager with us today. He's the harness racing icon known around the world. Fact, the only, the one, the manager. Manager, I told you, reach out to me, gtsrichb@gmail.com. We don't have any harness coverage in here. We'd love to have some harness coverage. So if you are the man, the icon known around the world, why don't you come on here and do a harness show for us? That would be awesome. We'd greatly appreciate it. And whatever kind of good things that came out of it, we'd give 99 point. Well, I can't say 99.9%, but we'd certainly, if you generated any revenue, we'd make sure you get more than the lion's share of it. But at the very minimum, get you a ton of exposure because across all of our social media sites, emails, and everything, we touch about 50,000 horse players a month. That's not a small number. Small enough that the people like at Churchill Downs and stuff like that could ignore us when we ask for press credentials, but that's not going to be the case next year. Looks like Scott Lake is going to have a big day today. Yeah, he could have a pretty good day today. Terry, I like the 6-horse in this spot as well. El Gran Cuyaya. I'm going to go with that one. This is our good friend Chris Parmalu Angle. He likes horses that finish second in the prior race in the maiden ranks because he said they only had to beat one horse to win. Great logic. Horse did run a Z pattern and the top last race speed figure. It's been close at Parx with a second and a third and 2 tries. So why not finish the job today for El Gran Cuyaya graduate? First to last is taking the biggest class drop in here. Going to go longer today than it has in the past and catching a little bit of a weight break. So let's see if that works out. And a lot of times horses too that go longer, when they have early speed, that early speed is actually accentuated. So I wouldn't be surprised if 4 gets to the front and never gives it up. Shadow Bay. For me, when you come to one of these races where everybody's run 8, 9, 10 times and hasn't had a chance to win, even if they don't look that good on paper, you have to go with the horses that have run the lesser amount of races simply because you don't know if they have any upside into them. Horses done okay at Parx 3 times out, a second and a third. And at the distance, the alone time it tried 1 mile and 70 yards, it finished second. So a sort of crispy angle. Finally, Kane, it looks to me like that 8-horse is the best of the rest with the biggest overlay that you mentioned in there, Terry, and the second strongest C zone. We've seen plenty of those come in for 3rd, 4th, and 2nd and ruin trifectas. Not today, because I have the 1-4-6 over the 4-6 over the 1-4-6, 7, and 8 in race number 5. Let's see how long. Race number 5. Let's see. 47 watching and 8 likes. Good karma equals 15 to 1 winner. Okay, Spencer, you got that numerology going on there. I like that. Hey, whatever it takes to find a winner, right? Race 5. Christopher D'Souza on the 5-horse. Frugal judge. Yeah, a little bit of an overlay on that 5 horse in there too, according to the simulation odds. Would like to see a little better speed zone or C zone score, but it's horse racing. How do we have to race number 2? So Terry, we
have about 7 minutes.
All right, good. So we'll have plenty of time to cover race number 6, maybe even race number 7. Race 6, 6.5 furlongs. Terry, we ran this distance once already today on the card. Again, the profile of a 6.5 furlong winner does favor early speed. 35%. That's a big number. Get the lead and never give it up. Post positions are mostly fair, except 4 through 7 get a little bit of a discount. So maybe downgrade the performance a little bit. In the 6th race, we got a ton of scratches in here, Terry, right? That's, I think, going to impact this race. This is where we completely disagree on the 6 horse. But
yeah,
looks like the 7 horse, speed horse in this one here, Terry.
Yeah, this really changed how I did my bets through my pick 4 in that, because I liked a couple of horses, or actually 3 horses were my top picks that were scratched. But that 7's going to get to the quarter pole, it appears to me. First, the overlays are the 2, which is supposed to be around 4-1 simulated odds. It's 5-1 in the morning line, and then the 7 is around 3-1. It's a small overlay. It's supposed to be 7-2 in the morning line. They all have good C-zone figures if you look here. So
yeah, what's left, right, does have good C-zone numbers for sure. I agree, Charles. Get the W was probably the winner, because you kind of look at the like A beat B, B beat C, therefore A beat C kind of thing in like those. You never get those questions right on your SAT scores. Yeah. Looking like this, the 6 horse is your EP type, so most likely the one that gets to the lead. The 4 and the 7 do, though, have a little bit of pressure closer ability in there. According to the most recent early speed figures, so it's a little bit different in the way I calculate both of these, are the simulations and the way that this is calculated. According to the more recent races, He's Incredible has a 6-point advantage over Jump Shot and Strugar. So I think this race will play out exactly like it shows in the way to the winner's circle. The 6 gets to the lead. The 4 and the 7, they're snug behind as the 2nd and 3rd place horses riding shotgun. And then the 2 horse will try to close the show and see if it can steal it. It's hoping that the 4, 6, and 7 all go out too fast, burn themselves out, and give it a chance to close. You think it has a shot to close and come in second, but you like that 7 horse as your top pick.
I do. Strugar ran second in his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 2, Mr. Roundtree, finished 3rd in his last race and has a decent workout. The 4 is my 3rd pick, Jump Shot. He finished 3rd in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. And the 6 is my Long Shot. He's incredible. He won 6 races out of the last 9 starts. Has the highest speed figure in the last or in today's distance. I want to play $6 to win on the 7.
6 to win on the 7. I'm going to go with He's Incredible as my single in the pick 4 that we did before. I'm going to single them up here in the pick 5 too. Why not? It really, you want to talk about, that's like a slice of cheese, pick 5 right there, $9 one. And the way prices are going, it might be a slice of cheese before much longer. He's Incredible did miss by a nose at this level last time out. The only concern for me is that was at 6 furlongs. I'm going to go 6.5 today. I'm not sold that the extra furlong is going to be to his benefit. But to get the right fractions, they might never catch this one. Strugar always puts in a great effort at Parx. 4 times out, 1 win, 3 seconds. So I'm a little bit fearful that this one likes to hang at the end of the race. Just look around for other horses and say, hey, I'm not supposed to finish first, though. We look at the distance, has 3 wins in 5 races with a 2nd. Should be good, too, in Charles's favorite angle, the 3rd off the bench. Jump Shot missed by a neck in his last at 6 furlongs, and unlike the 6 horse, maybe the extra half furlong actually works to his benefit here. And then finally, there's only one left, Mr. Roundtree. That is the lone closer in there. Small overlay with solid C-zone scores, and at times has some really strong late pace numbers. Some couple nice workouts between races. I just have found in my experience with the 7 horse, with these really short fields, get to the front and win is usually the recipe. 4 horse race 6, 4 horse race 6, the 6 and the 7. You two buy indeed. Good luck today. Hey, Buy Stocks, how are you today, my man? Good to see you today as well. Is that your business, stocks, the stock market? That's where I come from, and we try to use a little bit of that same sort of analysis in what we do, at least what I do in the horse racing. Do we have time for race 7, Terry?
We have 2 minutes.
All right, we can get it done in 2 minutes. So a mile and 70 yards. The opener today saw speed go to the front. That's typically the way it works with about 29% going wire to wire. The post, Kentucky Pride, does get a little bit of an edge. 2 through 7, played fair, 8 and out. A little bit of a penalty. Terry, the 8-horse, Wonder City, was going to be part of the lead. Not today. So
Nope.
Tri-Board going to really benefit from the 8 being on the sidelines.
That's right. 2 and 9 have the speed in here. And who knows? They're going to go head and head, I imagine, to the quarter pole. The 2 has an overlay, pretty nice one, just under 2-1 simulated odds, and it's 4-1 on the morning line. 5 is the next with 5-2, and it looks like 9-2 on the morning line. And then the 7 has a small overlay, almost 9-1 to 10-1. The C zones look pretty good. The 1 and the 2 have the best C zones, with the 4 and the 6 following up.
Yeah, in the 7th spot in terms of the early pace, this is a pretty balanced race. A little bit more back-ended in here. I see this shape. I usually favor speed. That looks like it can belong to the 7. Going to have company. At the end of the race, you're going to see this 2-horse making the biggest push, ambitiously placed. That late speed should put that horse near the top of the board. It does in what looks like a competitive start here, Terry. Let's go on to race number 2 because they're about to go live. Here are our picks for race number 2. I like the 6. Terry likes the 7, but we do agree the 2, 6, and 7 are the top 3 in race number 2. We have a few horses left to load. Looks like they got the 1 in, the 2 in, the 4 in. The 5 is next to come in. 3 in this race, leaping for candy. As you can see, red line through it. It is scratched. According to our early pace calculations, it looks like the 5 and the 8 are the most likely duo to go to the front. And then they should be followed closely by all of the horses except maybe the 1 horse, Divinary. Looks like the bettors are kind of unsure about this race too, Terry, because
it's pretty wide open.
The 7 is 5-2 favorite right now. Looks like they're all up. They're all in. The starter's assistant getting the 8-horse situated, and out they go. And to the front, the 8 gets the lead. But the 5-horse is definitely putting a little bit of pressure on there. Boss Like Beth kind of got squeezed in between the 2 there. Had to move to the outside. I'm not sure that's exactly what the jockey wanted to do. Not too far behind, you find the 2-horse, All Hail Mo. And the 1 on the rail, Divinary, right there as well. Everybody going to get a comfortable trip according to the C-Zone. A little bit of a gap back to that 7-horse, Lunati, the favorite right now. Way back, the 4-horse, How Much Are UW? As they go through the opening quarter in 23-2, the 8-horse remains on the lead. The 6-horse closing up nicely in there as well. The 5-horse now trying to make its move. Looking like the 6-horse to me, Terry, if I had to guess right now, is going to be your winner. I could be wrong because the 7 looks like it's trying to make a move, but it's being forced about 5 wide. The 8-horse is going to give this 6-horse all it can handle, though, coming down the stretch, though, because he is starting to pull away a little bit. So maybe the 8-horse is going to win because the jockey can't get the 6 to change leads. He's yanking the hell out of that horse's head. The 8-horse is going to go wire to wire here, Terry. Bay and Gold. No, wait, maybe not. That 6-horse looks like it's about to. Yes, the 6-horse does come home with the lead. 6, 8, 2, and 5. 6, 8, 2, and 5. Looks like speed today, folks. That 8-horse at 30-1 stayed up front. And, a speed bias is not when all the favorites get to the front and do well. Speed bias is when the long shots can get up to the front, stay up at the front, and do well. So that's what we see, right? Race number 7, Charles says, Sophia stalks pace and wins. All right. Well, we haven't talked about our picks in race 7, Terry.
No, we haven't. No, that's what I'm going to do right now.
All right. Let me get the right race up on the screen so when people come back and watch a little bit later, they know that we're talking about race 7 and not race number 2. Fire away, Terry.
Okay, I like the 6-horse. My top pick, our Tenderoni, finished in the money in her last 6 races at Parx Racing. She's won 3 of those starts and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Ambitiously. Yeah. Couldn't get that last Lee out of there. Yeah, anyway, placed. She's my second pick. She's number 2. She finished 3rd versus Tougher in her last race at Parx Racing. Has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 4 is my third pick, finished third versus similar in the last race, has a trainer who wins 35% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and she has a good workout on April 27th. Tis a Sharpie's my long shot, the 3. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm going to play a pick 4. I'm going to take and use the 2-6 with the 3-5-8-9, with the 4-5-7, with the 1, 6, 9, and 10.
So if you haven't done so yet, Terry, did you know that only 10% of the people who watch your shows actually hit the subscribe button, Terry?
Oh, really?
And I don't know why that is. So I feel like we do the best we can. Who would have figured on that 8-horse? Yeah, that would have been nice, right? To have that one in there in your second place.
Yeah.
But only about 10% of the people who watch actually hit the like button or the subscribe button. So if you haven't done so yet, hit the subscribe button. I'll give you one good reason why. Ross Blacker watched our show with Larry Ravelli, and because of that, he put that one horse in his picks on the Kentucky Derby Day, hit a pick 5 for $95,000, and said if he had not watched the show, he would not have put that horse in his picks. I would just suggest to you, hit the subscribe button, take a look at what's coming up, and especially when we get the jockeys and trainers and big races coming up, you're going to get some insights you're not going to get anywhere else. Take a look at that. And then, of course, you can help us get to 10,000, which opens up the door for us for additional tools that the folks at YouTube make available for creators. Race number 7 for me, Terry. What speed figures do you use for handicapping? Good question. I use Brisnet. I know a lot of people like to use, so that would be the Equibase speed figure, I guess. And a lot of people like to use the DRF, which I think uses the Andy Beyer stuff, right?
That's correct, yes.
Mm-hmm. And I like to use Brisnet. I'm not opposed to using DRF, but the reason I use Brisnet is because the data files just work a little bit easier for me in Excel, which I have a bunch of different things like you see up on the screen that I like to do. And we constantly are trying to create new data points. And it's easier for me to manipulate in Excel and kind of do some data hunting to find things that may or may not work. And, you know, Charles, for example, asked us way back about these pace figures, and it got me to working. And because of those pace figures, we came to the screens that you see here. That's because of that question right there, Charles. So if you have any questions or if there's something you want us to take a look at and analyze, just fire away and let me know, because I'm always interested in trying to learn more and bring that information forth to see if we can hit more winners. And that's the reason why you should hit the subscribe button and the likes as well, because they both help us with the algorithms. Sorry for that little bit of self-promotion. I like Ambitiously Placed in race number 7. Pretty good class drop for this one today, Terry. The last race was better than it looks on paper. Did run the same fractions at 1 mile and 70 yards as it did at 6 furlongs. So it went considerably longer, ran just as fast. In my book, that's a lot faster. R10 Deroni, Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera, Parx, you got to keep those two on your ticket, though they haven't won with this horse yet. 3 wins with three races, a second and a third in its tries at Parx. Been at the distance 12 times, has 11 times in the money, 4 wins, 4 seconds, 3 thirds. So clearly likes the longer ones. My concern here is a little bit of regression last race. Number 5. Miss Loyalty. You got Paco Lopez here. Some better fractions in the last race. And did show some better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers to go along with that. Maintenance workout in between, says the horse should stay sharp. And finally, Tribod. Was it Triboard? Triboard, yes. Once again, we find Sophia Vives. Did I mention she's hot, Terry?
Yes.
I mean, in terms of riding horses.
Yes.
Winning 3 yesterday, right distance for this horse, 9 times out, 4 wins, a second and a third. You put this horse at any other distance, 9 times, again, as many wins on the track as you and I have, Terry, and that is what?
0.
Yes. We'll never get one either. You never know. I mean, maybe we'll go there, me, you, Charles, and Sean one day, and Tom, and we'll have a race out of the starters gate. We'll get Jamie and Julie in there. And I got a funny feeling Jamie and Julie would go 1-2, and the rest of us come in some different order.
Well, I'd come in last. I'll tell you that right now. So.
I don't know. I think Sean would give you a run for your money. Charles too. I don't know. Charles got a bad back. I think Charles would just he'd come out at the gate and he'd pull up. They might even have to van him off. I got the 2-5. I got to pick 4 here. 2-5-6 with the 1-3-9, with the 4-5-7, with the 1-7-9. Let's hopefully get another $10,000 one at the last late pick 4 at Parx.
That'd be great.
And that we actually have it today. All right. The 8th race. 1 mile. We haven't run 1 mile yet. Didn't run 1 mile yesterday either, Terry. 1 mile on the main track does, again, like most races in this track, does favor early speed. In fact, this might be the distance where speed really has the biggest impact, because so far in the races that they've had, 50% have gone wire to wire. That's a big number. Slight rail edge, 2 through 7 play fair. If you get a little bit farther out, there is a discount. But 50% of the horses going wire to wire. And here, Terry, you better keep your eye on some of these horses with strong simulation scores for early speed.
That's right. And that one has the most early speed, with 4 maybe going to give him a little bit of problem. So the 1 should get there first, or the 4 might just beat him there. The 1 is the best, is an overlay, 10-1 morning simulated odds, 15-1 on the morning line. If you look at that 8, it's supposed to be just under 2-1, like 8-5, and it's listed at 5-2 on the morning line. And then the 1 has the best simulated odds, with the 9 coming in second. The others have, okay, except for maybe the 6 and the 7.
Yes, Charles indeed did pick, and we gave Charles all of his props yesterday.
Yeah.
I give Charles a hard time all the time. He gives it back to me, though. It's as good as it gets. A little bit of yin and a little bit of yang in that respect. But
yeah,
you only joke with the ones you love, and as I said, you notice I never joke with Terry. In any case, Charles did a great job on that Derby winner with Mage. In fact, he did. And he based it all on watching. He spent all of his time watching the workouts and said that was one of the most impressive workouts he saw. And, that does kind of confirm what Mike Smith told us on the Horse Center show before the Kentucky Derby a few years ago, how they train at Churchill is how they run at Churchill. Yeah. And certainly that proved to be true there again.
And I used it in a lot of my different bets. So thanks to Charles for that.
Yes, we give Charles his props. In the 8th race, our way to the winner's circle worksheet. This one's kind of front loaded with a little bit of speed, Terry. The 5, 6, 7, and 8 are looking like they are lead dependent. The 1 horse, Big Brown Shoes, perhaps the most versatile of the early speed horses, does have the most early speed. I don't know that he'll necessarily use it, because I think with 4 other horses in there would be better suited to sit second and third, save a little bit of energy for the end of the race. At the end, it does look like 2x2 has the most late speed. In fact, 5 points better than the next 2 right in there. Glory Song. You got Big Brown Shoes. That horse, that EP horse, does have a little bit of late pace. Could be a little bit dangerous at a price, maybe, Terry. In fact, grades out as the top early pace, late pace horse. Wow. 6 points better than anybody else.
Wow, that opened my eyes a little bit there, because I actually don't have it in my picks. I like Ruby Blue. The 8 is my first pick. Ran 6th as the favorite last race, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 31% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and the horse drops in class. Number 9, Glory Song, won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then my third pick, number 3, 2x2, switches to high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And this trainer wins 32% of the races in the first start of a horse with this trainer. My long shot is a 5, Senior Investment. That's you. He drops in class today, has the highest speed figure today's distance. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a good workout on 4 furlongs on May 3rd. I'm going to play an exact. I'm going to use the 8 on top with the 3 on the 9.
You mentioned the Senior Investment, Terry, being me. I do some work still for the market. I write some stories about the stock market. And one of the things that I do is take a look at the previous week's insider buying. I know there's been a lot of stress in the regional bank sector, all these higher interest rates and so forth, wreaking havoc. I guess a Stanford study of the 2,000 banks could be at risk, regional banks. But in any case, one of them that might not be at risk, I don't know. You have to do your own homework on this, talk to your financial advisor, all that kind of good stuff. I sent you the report on that, Terry, that Key Bank.
You did.
And it's like a $10 stock right now. Key is the symbol. And they've been in business since before the Civil War. So, they've been through a lot of stuff. And right now, what was the dividend? Like over 8% or something like that, Terry?
Yeah.
And they've paid a dividend consistently for at least the last 25 years. So if you're into the stock market, you want to maybe look at a distressed bank that has some upside and gets you a nice dividend along the way. It's consistently paid the dividends, even paid it through the 2008 subprime crash. Take a look at Key, get some reports from your investment advisors. And if you're interested in reading what I wrote, go ahead and send me an email to gtsrichb@gmail.com, and I'll send the article out to you. Race 8, the 9 horse. Charles says, look out for that 9 horse in here. Glory Song, race 8, going back, Christopher D'Souza, 4-3 exacta box for $2. He says the best bet of the day for him is race 8 with the number 4 to win.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. That's Splice the Main membrane. And of course, Terry, you and I, neither one of us have that guy. So we might want to reconsider what we're doing here.
You never know. Yeah.
I like 2x2 as my top choice. This one's coming in from Oaklawn Park. That's an absolute track drop for me. Right distance for this Ruben Silvera Jamie Ness horse. 6 times out, 3 wins and a third. And it has a nice 6 furlong Parx workout. So the horses absolutely should be fit. Glory Song, the 9 horse. Again, Jamie Ness in here, but this one's teaming up with Frankie Pennington. When he wins and keeps him in the claiming ranks, follows it up with 33% that he wins again. Could be tough to beat if he runs his Parx best. Ruby Blue, the 8 horse. Sizable class drop for this one. Rebounded the last 2 times he bombed in the prior start. And if you look at that last race, it's kind of hard to back this one unless you go back and look to see when he's bombed before, what he's done afterwards. He has a nice maintenance workout between races. The last time the horse really kind of tailed off at the end, came back, did a maintenance workout. It didn't win, but it finished a close second. So let's see if he can go and repeat that cycle. And then finally, that Big Brown Shoes, Terry, going to be up on the front. Lone EP horse, strong C-zone score. Could also be the pace setter if it goes a little bit too slow. Going to get a nice price maybe on that one. I'm going to do a double because I was running out of money. The 3 over the 4, the 5, and the 7. But let me tell you, folks, I would really think about putting that 1 in there too, just in case it pops at a price.
Yep.
Race number 9, as we got 2 to go to close the show, Terry. The 9th race, 1 mile. We just talked about 50% of the horses go wire to wire. It looks like the inside is a little bit better than the outside. If 50% go wire to wire, again, we really want to focus on those horses that have some early speed. And in race number 9, boy, it's wide open.
That's right. It sure is. It looks like here most of these horses have some speed. The one that's most speed is that 7, but also the 3 and the 5, Rich's Way, which I'm pretty sure you got. Yeah, you do. You got it in there.
I have to have it in there, Terry. It's all in the name, baby.
That's right.
I was going to put it first just because of the name, but that's not the best handicapping angle. But hey, if it wins, it is the best handicapping angle.
That's true. And the only overlay I really see is the 3. It's going to be supposed to be like 5-2, and it's listed at 12-1 on the morning line. You know, and the 7 and 6, 5 all have the best C-zone numbers. So
so this race could come down to how the race shape fits each and every horse. And in the 9th race, you look here, you got really none that are lead dependent. The 4, 5, and 6 are all versatile upfront types. The 1 horse, Brindisi, wants to be a pressure type, so probably going to sit in that pressure position. Early speed belongs to Jamie's Dream. She'll be on tonight. Wish on for Horse Center. You're going to want to tune in for that. Look at over here with this 3 horse, Terry. Northern Express. Closer with early speed that can put the horse forward. Again, a left arrow horse. I've had a ton of success with those. Late pace in this race belongs to the 4 horse. Road Trip to Nowhere. Those are always the best when you just kind of jump in the car and start driving and don't know where you're going to end up. And then finally, Northern Express. And I don't have this horse in my picks. And it also is the top overlay, Terry. I have a feeling that when race number 9 is over, I'm going to be regretful I don't have that 3.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do have it as my long shot. But let me tell you, my first pick is Road Trip to Nowhere. Number 4, finished in the money in 7 out of the last 8 races at Parx Racing. So he's very competitive, winning 2 of those starts and has a high percentage winning trainer. Secret Alliance, the 7 is my second choice. He ran second in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then 5, Rich's Way. He won his last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage.
I win every
winning
race,
trainer.
Terry.
Yeah, that's right. And then I like the 3, Northern Express as my long shot. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer. I have no money left, so I can't bet anything.
Yeah, he's got the rabbit ears in his pockets there. I have in the 9th race, I'm going to go Secret Alliance, that 7 horse. I agree with Christopher D'Souza. I always knew he was a really smart guy. Secret Alliance is making the 3rd start after a layoff. Did show some early regression in the last race in terms of the 2 and 4 furlong numbers. That's a bit touching in terms of concern for me, but did show a big late pop. Number 4, Road Trip to Nowhere, second up for this guy. 2 bullet workouts since then, so the horse should be really sharp in here. And then a maintenance workout. So 2 bullets, then a maintenance, then to the track. It's going to be fit, firm, and ready to run. Rich's Way. Again, it's all in the name. It was off for more than a year. Took some time off. Got a little bit of sun, out there. Was solid in the first race up and then ran his best race in the second start after that long layoff. If there's any similar improvement here, look out. Rich's Way will be the dominant horse as it should be. And then it was a tough call for me between the 1 and the 3. I probably should switch it to the 3, but I'll stick with the 1. Brindisi, even race in his last, is a candidate for more in round 2 off the bench. And the slight edge went for me for the 1 over the 3 because of that rail edge. And it gets Paco Lopez. So that was really the deciding factor because I know Paco. If Paco has a chance, he's going to give it everything he got, and he ain't going to let anybody pass him.
That's right.
Race 9, the 3 might Pete and repeat. Last was sharp and a great win for the 3 horse in there.
Yep. That's the one you don't have.
Yeah, I know. And it's also the biggest overlay in there, and it's got a decent chance to get on the lead. Just a question that maybe this pace might be a bit quick for the 3 horse, which is, I think, a concern for me. Race number 9, Christopher says the 7-6 Exacta box. So he's going to step out with that 6 horse and hope it hits at a price. Last race of the day, Mr. Terry. Again, if you haven't done so, please hit the like and the subscribe button on YouTube and on Facebook. Only 10% of the people hit the subscribe button. Please help us get above that number. Race number 10, Terry, this last one of the day, I think it's a mile and a 16th, if I remember correctly. And I do. It's a claiming 10,000, purse of 27 grand. We haven't talked about the mile 16 average winner. That does favor stalkers and tactical speed types. Although 35% still managed to go wire to wire, there is a very strong inside 3 and 8+ bias. 4 through 7, for whatever reason, they really struggle, Terry. Speed's not that important here. It's not a deal maker or a deal breaker. It looks like the fastest horse, though, Buffalo Shuffle, has shuffled off to the sideline.
That's right. There's really no speed in here at all. A little bit for the 6 and the 10, but that's about it. Overlay, the 1 has a pretty nice overlay. It's supposed to be like, what is that, 9-2? Mm-hmm. And it's listed at 10-1 in the morning line. Most of these have pretty good C-zone numbers.
Should be a very comfortable race for all of them indeed. Let's see who's going to get the most comfortable race in terms of race shape. The 1 and the 5, you got a couple of ones that want to be up on the lead. If they get off to the lead, maybe they'll have a shot, and they're absolutely thrilled to death that the 8 horse is not in this race because he was going to crush them all out of the gate. Here you have that 10 horse, Indoctrinate, another left arrow type, a closer whose early speed should push it forward. So if he has any late legs in here, he should be able to capitalize on them and maybe take it home. But he doesn't have it. Night Ops has a huge 12-point in-race advantage with the late speed. Put that late speed together with the early speed, and Night Ops grades out in what looks like a very competitive race. Maybe the 2, 5, and 7 might be in a little bit over their head. We'll see, Terry. I think this one's a little bit open on the back end in terms of who wins. What do you say?
I like the 1, Sing in Truth Storm.
Sing in the Truth Storm. I don't know.
Right. He has finished in the money in his last 6 starts at Parx Racing, and the rail post is winning at an 18% clip. That 9 you're talking about, Night Ops, is my second choice. Drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Spinkster Red, the 6 horse is my third pick, ran second.
You got to be careful with that one, Terry. You might have a real different name.
That's right. He ran second versus Similar his last race and has the highest last speed rating. And then Indoctrinate, the 10 is my long shot. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a good workout on April 8th. I have
Yeah.
no money left, so there's no bet for me. And my best bet today at Parx is the 7-horse Duger in the 6th race.
Yeah, so in the last race for me, I was running out of money, so I'm just trying to make some bets. I probably could have did it a little bit differently because you said I still have a few bucks left. But anyway, Night Ops, the 9-horse, going to get the call from me in here with that strong late pace edge, as you mentioned, Terry. Kind of difficult to guess who's going to be up on the lead, and even still, the early pace figures don't project a fast race, so the 9 should be closer to the front than usual. Drops here in class as well. I think that late pace edge takes over, takes the W. Singing in truth, the storm, whatever. Finished second by a neck at this distance, last out. I feel like the distance is the key for this one horse in here, Terry. He's got 3 wins, almost 4 in 7 races, missing by just a neck in the second place finish. And then you put the run at any other distances, no wins in 16 other tries. So definitely a mile and a 16th, the right place. Willie MC. We started the day talking about Hollywood MC. Willie MC is almost the last thing we're going to talk about today. Is dropping in class, ran better fractions last out, including 2 consecutive speed figure increases. Let's see if Willie MC can make it 3. Finally, Indoctrinate was a tough call for me over the 6-horse. Spites the red, but does get a better post considering that the 4 through 7 really struggle. Has better Parx numbers, has better numbers at the distance, and should be one of the bigger beneficiaries of the 8 scratching out. 50-cent trifecta for me. I'm going to put the 9 over the 1, 4, 6, 7, 10 over the 1, 7. Hope to catch a bomb in the middle and a good price, Terry.
All right.
All right. That's all of our picks for today at Parx. Here you can see them all on the screen for all of the races today. Race number 1 and race number 2 in the books. The 7-horse run the first race, right, Terry?
I think so.
Yeah, and then the 6-horse winning race number 2, just a few minutes away from race number 3. Again, Charles and I will be back tomorrow. We will cover Horseshoe Indianapolis. That should be a lot of fun, a different track. Make sure you tune in for that around the same time. You like the 5 to win in the last race, race 10. A wire to wire for the 6-horse. He does indeed like that. Race 10 is a Paco Taco. Indeed, Paco is going to get that W in there. Race 10 to 5. So a little bit of disagreement on what everybody sees in race number 10 there. All right, Terry. Any final thoughts before we get out of here today?
Yeah, if you like what you saw, go to, on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and hit that little bell so you get notifications of all of our different shows. We have all kinds of shows that go on almost every day of the week. Also go to the social sites and at Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and give us that's at Horse Race the number 2 day, and give us a thumbs up and a like if you like what you've seen, and let your friends and relatives, everybody you know about our shows so that they can come and take a look and see if they like it.
See if they can maybe catch a ticket or 2.
That's right. Other than that, have a great week. Hope you did well on the Derby, and stay safe, and give your friends and loved ones a hug and a love you. So
indeed, race number 3 is about to get going. But before we get to race number 3, Terry, a little bit over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, you will find that today's free track is FanDuel Sportsbook down in Southern Illinois. If you're a fan of FanDuel Sportsbook, head on over. There's a link down in the description below. Take it out on a limb there, Terry. 1-to-1 shot as the top pick in the first race. But hey, like you said, where else can you double your money in a couple of seconds, Terry?
That's
a minute.
right.
What this one's going to be 5.5 furlongs, so probably around a minute. Certainly can't do that in the banks, at least the ones that are still left standing, Terry.
That's
in the
right.
third race coming up at Parx, we'll cover that, and then we'll jet up and out of here. Again, tomorrow, we'll be back with Charles for Horseshoe Indianapolis. And then on Thursday, we'll cover Belmont Park. Tonight, again, Sean and Jamie on Horse Center, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tune in for that. As Terry mentioned, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and all that good stuff. You know by now what to do with all the social media stuff, but we still have to ask for the order, as they say in sales. Looks like we have one more horse to load, the 7-horse, and then we'll be ready to go for the third race at Parx.
All right.
All right. Looks like they're having a hard time getting the 4 to get his head straightened out a little bit there. Okay. Looks like they got him set. And they're off. off. And as they break out of the gate, a little bit of a squeeze right there. Made a nice lane for the 6 horse, Johnny's Little Girl, to bust to the lead right there. So Johnny's Little Girl, that's 6 horse. Terry's 4th pick up on the front. To the outside is the 7 horse Sprinkle This. On the rail, though, Miss Chamita, that fantastic tasting clam juice, has found its way into 3rd place. Got a nice easy trip on the rail right there. 4 horse now moving into 4th, competing with it looks like the 2 horse to me, Delightful Dreamer. And then towards the back of the pack, you have the 3 horse Cincinnati Dream, the favorite, one of the favorites anyway. And then dead last is She's a Double Take. Opening quarter in this mile, is this a 6 furlong race? No, this is a mile and 70 yards. Is at 24. I was going to say, if they run 6 furlongs and 24 and 4, you can forget about anybody running these horses down. The 6 and the 7 maintain the lead. They got about a gap of a horse to the 1 horse. And then behind that, the 6 horse, Johnny's Little Girl. The the 2 horse, it looks like. Delightful. No, is it the 4? Man, I'm just doing great here. Pop the Clutch is in 4th, starting to make a move. Opening quarter in 49 and 3. They're a little on the slow side here, Terry. The 6 and the 7 continue to maintain the lead. The horse that looks like it's moving the best right now is that 2 horse, absolutely flying at the end. Question is, does it have enough room to catch the 7? The 1 horse has moved into 2nd place at 3 to 5. Will he find his way past this 7 horse? The 7 horse is running way up the track. Jockey trying to get it to change leads, it looks like, too, whipping its head to the side. Looks like the 3rd race in a row. Get to the front. You got a good shot. Although the 2 horse here, Terry, is going to make it close at the end. The 1 horse is dipping to the inside because the 7 is definitely way up the track, opening up the door. But I don't think he opened up the door enough. It's going to go 7, 1, 5, and 2. 7, 1, 5, and 2.
All
So
right.
you got your exacta box in there, Terry. Good job.
I did. Yeah, I needed it.
7 horse went off at a good price, I think, too.
Yeah, 10 to 1, didn't he, or something like that?
The 7 horse was 10 to 1. Yes, drifted up in odds from 4 to 1. So that should be a nice exacta, little backdoor exacta over the favorite.
Yeah,
Would have
I
been
like
nicer
those.
for you if the 3 horse came in second, but
yeah, it would have been. 3 horse didn't do much at all.
no, I think he finished dead last. That top pick there. So
Next to last.
I know. I think he's dead last there. Unless he
Really?
kind of closed on a horse here at the end because the jockey, it looks like maybe he did put a little bit of effort in at the end, but I don't know why he would worry about that.
Yeah.
So 7, 1, 3, 2. Yeah, he did get the 6 horse finished. Dead
Yeah,
last.
he finished. He passed that 6. But
Mhm.
anyway, well, I needed that exacta to give me a little bit of money towards my budget today.
Mhm. Joining the new show today. Thank you. Any locks on today's race card, Terry? Anything you like the 7 in which race?
Well, I liked in the 7 in the 6th race.
7 in the 6th race. That race just went 7, 1, and 5. 7, 1, 5 in race number 3. All right, folks. No matter what you do for the rest of this day, we certainly hope it ends up in one place and that you get all of God's grace and all of God's favor. And that one place we want everything to end for you is in
The winner's circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us again. Tomorrow, Charles and I will do Horseshoe Indianapolis. Thursday, we'll be back for Belmont. Check out Jamie and Sean tonight on Horse Center. Thanks again for joining us. Have a terrific trifecta Terry Tuesday. Hold on a second. Got to press the right button now, Terry. There.